Hello everyone, I'm putting this up here just to show YouTube that I am operating within the guidelines of fair use, which allows to use segments of material I do not own the rights for in order to criticize and express an opinion. Just as any democratic, free speech supporting platform would do. I'm not going to make any money out of this, and everything I upload here will be for the sole purpose of reviewing, critique, and expressing opinions about what's going on and what went on the Fully Living channel. Well, I think it's time I start tackling the $1 million videos. You know very well which ones I mean. It's all the ones branding Raphael as having OCD, showing him going through so-called OCD episodes, and being triggered purposely by his mother, many times using the baby sister. It is no coincidence that these videos have brought them the dollars and the views more than anything else. This child was put in front of a camera, forcefully triggered into certain behaviors, make the bucks. But not only that, Andrea poses here as if she is some kind of an exposure therapy expert. But in my opinion, she is definitely not. This is not what exposure therapy is about. And I think it's time that we take a look at these videos one by one and break them down.
Don't pick it out. You're not gonna pick it out.
It's open.
So there's a few things that I want to point out regarding the scene in this video. Number one, Raphael has a problem with that little piece of paper that is still stuck to the little pudding cup over there. And he seems to still be seeing it as shut and not entirely open. And in order to prove to him that it's open, Andrea sticks her finger in the chocolate, which then aggravates Raphael further. And you can see it in the next scenes in the video where he says again and again, you don't do that, you don't do that, you don't put the finger in in the chocolate. And that aggravated response has nothing to do with OCD, it's just disgusting. And he does not like that. And many children do not like when you stick your fingers in their food. So, but then that is also taken as if this is some kind of OCD. Then, another thing that I noticed, that's number two, and this is something that, look, this is maybe just me, but I want you to pay attention to this. So, this in no way can be proven, but here's what I'm going to say. Knowing Andrea's tactics and the way she carried on throughout these videos, I want you to have a look at Raphael's face. So he's about to have a chocolate pudding, but look at his face. His face is already stained with chocolate pudding. So he has already had chocolate pudding before this scene is filmed. And this scene is filmed with a completely new little box of chocolate. So what happened here just before? Did he have another one? Was she practicing this with him? Again, no way to prove it. It's completely all in my head and it is my assumptions only. But just based on what we've seen from Andrea throughout the years, I'm saying that in my personal opinion, these chocolate stains on his face show that he has already eaten one of these puddings. And it's strange to me that he still has those on his face. He didn't even have his face cleaned before they go into this next issue with the new chocolate pudding that is not open correctly. Maybe I'm just a suspicious person, but I'm suspecting some foul play here. And only because of my experience with the whole issue surrounding truth and lie and fiction on this channel, especially concerning the kids. So now, after the issue has been resolved, Raphael is more or less done complaining about the little piece of paper. He has the pudding in his hand. He's already beginning to eat it. I want you to notice how many times Andrea plants that idea of that little piece of paper in his mind. How many times she mentions it again and repeatedly after the whole issue has been more or less resolved. He's eating the pudding. That was the whole purpose, right?
And that little piece of paper is not going to control your whole life.
It's going to
Don't think about that piece of paper. Nobody cares about that piece of paper.
You don't do that in this chocolate pudding.
You care about that paper. That paper has nothing to do with us.
So within a time frame of a few seconds, Andrea mentions that piece of paper at least 5 times. She mentions it more, and there's a whole conversation going on here. And, you know, if you go watch that video, it really won't change a thing because they already have 20 million views. So a few more wouldn't hurt. But you will see that most of this conversation is ukulalia. You will see that Raphael most of the time is repeating what she says. And then she decides to use the word paper again and again and again. And that I find interesting. Now, I'm not saying that the things that I've pointed out here are in any way, shape, or form intentional, because, you know, we cannot prove that. That is just an assumption. So all I can say is that I found that a bit weird, and I found that strange. So as I said before, Raphael sees the little piece of paper as if the whole cup of chocolate pudding is still shut and not entirely open. I mean, okay, that could be one symptom of OCD, which is the obsessing about minor details that interrupt the flow of things happening. But that is only one symptom. However, or let's say there are a few things that you can see in Raphael's behavior at this age of 3. For example, like I said before, sort of like obsessing on minor details. The ukulalia. The ukulalia is a completely different thing, although some children with OCD may repeat words of others or repeat words themselves as a calming mechanism. Ritualistic behavior that is designed to calm the anxiety that rises within, like washing hands or putting things in a very specific way on a shelf or on the floor, like folding their clothes in a specific way. These things with children who suffer from OCD are, that's the word, suffer. And making a whole channel revolve around Raphael having OCD and OCD disorder, when most of the time he is provoked into situations that would provoke any other child. And I'm not talking about this video. We're going to talk about it in other videos. Yeah, this is a very good source of income, but is it fair on this child?